He said he's a cross between Larry Bird and Steve Nash. I said, if that's the case, then this dude's gonna light the league on fire. Tell me about Luka Doncic.
His feet is slower than rush hour traffic.
That's my takeaway. He doesn't pop athletically.
The athleticism, that's a problem. The lack of athleticism.
Yeah, it doesn't have it.
Doncic at 6'7" will get exposed for all of the inadequacies that Dirk.
He struggled with quick defenders.
Dirk's not a great athlete.
No.
Dirk doesn't have explosive quickness, right? Dirk isn't physical.
No.
Well, that's what's going to happen to Doncic.
We tend to over-sensationalize European basketball.
He's European, he's going to be the Dirk. Skip, that's an anomaly.
It sounds like you're saying Luka will not be like a perennial all-star type player. But if
I am not saying Luka is setting the NBA world on fire. I'm not sure he's going to be a dominating NBA player.
I don't believe he's a lottery pick.
not a lottery pick.
DeAndre Ayton is going to be the number one overall pick.
With the third pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Luka Doncic.
Luka. Chance had a foul again. Luka launches it. On a cut for the weak side. Luka blocked it twice. Switched on to Luka. Luka with the step back three. Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Generational talent. When you hear that word in the NBA, what are the first names that come to mind? LeBron, Kobe, Magic, Bird, MJ? Players that can literally win games on their own, with their patience to detail and their committed mentality of never giving up. Anybody can be a good basketball player, but it takes a certain player to be a great basketball player. And that's exactly what we're seeing today with Luka Doncic, who's literally taking the NBA by storm and making his doubters into believers, which for me is kind of surprising, considering before joining the league he was already considered as that guy in Europe, winning countless awards at every youth group to the point where they brought him up to the pros at just 16. So to see all this hate he was receiving from these so-called basketball geniuses before entering the league was just ridiculous. But hey, I kind of understand where they were coming from, since we all grew to the belief that Euro players aren't as athletic or as fast as American players, which makes them a gamble for most GMs when drafting them. But even with that belief playing in effect, anybody that saw Luka play during his time in Europe should have known he was no average Euro player. Dude was different. But what exactly was it that made him different? Well, I'll show you. Born on February 28, 1999 in Ljubljana, Slovenia, the young superstar phenom we know today started his basketball journey at just the age of 1, playing on a miniature hoop in his room. And according to his grandmother and mother, young Luka was always seen carrying a basketball everywhere he went. So yeah, the kid loved basketball at an early age. It wasn't until he turned 7 that he joined his first basketball team in Ljubljana, where he matched up with kids that were 3 years older than him. And knowing that he didn't have the strength, speed, and experience to compete against them, he knew that the only way he could beat them was to use his brain. At just the age of 8, Luka was picked up by Slovenian club team Olimpija, a club team that was well known to producing talents like Marko Milic and Goran Dragic. Doncic was first initially expected to practice with players his age, but that only lasted for about 16 minutes into his first training session, where coaches saw that the kid was at a different level. He was moved up to play with the 11-year-old group, but even there he was way beyond their level. He was moved up to play with the under 14 team, but unfortunately for him, due to league rules, he was only allowed to play with the under 12 team. At 10 years old, he competed with Olimpia's under-14 team in the Vasas Intesa Sao Paulo Cup, where Luka finished as the tournament's MVP, although finishing runners-up to FC Barcelona. His performance in the tournament was so great that Spanish giants Real Madrid came looking for his signature. Luka was hesitant at first, but he eventually gave in and joined Real Madrid at just 11 years old. He left his family and home to chase his basketball dreams, something not many young kids his age would dare to do. From his arrival to Madrid, he dominated on the court, winning almost every tournament and individual award at every youth group. By the age of 13, Luka signed his first pro contract with Real Madrid. Although being just 13, he was still able to be one of the top dogs on the under-16 team, winning countless games and MVP awards in the process. By 15, he was playing with the under-18s, where he again showed his dominance to the world. His standout performances with the under-18s led him being called up to Real Madrid's senior team at just 16. He made his debut on April 30th, 2015 in the Liga ACB, where they played against Unicaja. Luka only played 2 minutes and scored 3 points, but that appearance alone made him Real Madrid's youngest player to ever play in a Liga ACB game. In his first season with Real Madrid's senior team, he only played a total of 5 games, where he averaged 1.6 points per game and 1.2 rebounds per game, in a total of 4.8 minutes. By his second season, Luka became a regular member on the team, playing in more minutes and contributing well off the bench. On October 16, 2015, Luka debuted in the EuroLeague, becoming the 21st ever player to ever debut in the EuroLeague before turning 17. A well-deserved accomplishment from the kid that left his home at just 11 years old. But Luka wasn't done there. In his next following seasons, he showed the world he means business by helping Real Madrid reach the EuroLeague Final Four and being named EuroLeague's Rising Star Player and ACB's Best Young Player. But in the 2017-18 season, this is where things got a little bit more interesting. After Real Madrid star Sergio Llull suffered an ACL tear, Luka took it upon himself to lead this team to that upcoming season, and boy oh boy did this kid shine. At only 17 years old, Luka showed the EuroLeague he meant business, taking Real Madrid all the way to the EuroLeague Final Four berth, averaging 16 points per game, 4.3 assists per game, and 4.9 rebounds per game. Numbers that don't scream best player in the world, but numbers that were enough to make Luka the youngest EuroLeague MVP. And before you guys begin trashing the EuroLeague, you need to remember, the EuroLeague and the NBA are way different styles of basketball. As Luka puts it, basketball in EuroLeague is more team basketball. It's more tactics and you have less time. The NBA is tougher to play because you have many players that are basically impossible to guard. But scoring 30 points in a EuroLeague is harder than an NBA game. I'm just saying this because of the rules. In Europe, if you have a guy like Rudy Gobert, for example, he can stay in the paint for 3 seconds or more. However, in the NBA, you can't do that. Just because of that rule alone, you can easily have 10 extra points, which was well put by Luka. But again, not many scouts look at that. They mostly look at the stat box and go from there, which isn't a bad thing, but that doesn't really tell you everything you need to know about a player. This is why I believe some Euro players don't look good in the NBA, because in Europe they were taught to play team first basketball where everybody gets to touch the ball. Then they moved to the NBA where for the majority of the time touches goes to the superstar player, which makes the job of the Euro player to get rebounds and get the ball to the best player and just stand in the corner. And don't get it twisted, not all teams in the NBA operate like that. Teams like the Spurs and Mavs tend to always put the focus on team basketball rather than just relying on one specific player, which is why we see many Euro players be successful in these teams. But enough about that. Going back to Luka, after the 2017-18 season, Luka was eligible to participate in the 2018 NBA draft. And with the terrific season he just had, how can he not take part of the draft? After all, youngest EuroLeague MVP ever just screams #1 pick, or let alone lottery pick, right? Well, some thought otherwise, calling his game too slow and not having the strength and athleticism to be a star in the NBA. But unfortunately for them, it only took Luka a few months into the season to prove his doubters wrong, and show them that you don't need to have insane athleticism or speed to be a star. Luka was able to run away with the Rookie of the Year award with ease, averaging 21.2 points per game, 6 assists per game, and 7.8 rebounds per game. Not only that, but he also received a lot of validation from his fellow players in the league, calling him an 18-year vet rather than an 18-year-old rookie, which goes to show just how amazing his game was at the time. And as of today, we continue seeing Luka's greatness in full display, beating the former Western Conference champs with ease and proving his doubters that there is more than just athleticism and speed to be a good basketball player. But this is just the beginning of Luka's career. He still has much to prove and show, but if I have anything to say about it, we're still just witnessing his beginning stages of his Hall of Fame basketball career.